Welcome back to more of the Fire Emblem Three Houses Resistance Route Blind Run. Last time... yeah. Things happened. So, we'll see where we go from here, though I'm guessing the next chapter is going to be the streets of Enbarr, and it's going to be very similar to chapter 21 on the Blue Lions route.
Part 2. Silver Snow. Garland Moon. The Chaos of War.
That's a new chapter title, though. Maybe it won't be.
The Resistance Army successfully takes Fort Mercius. Their victory celebrations are cut short, however, when javelins of light pierce the sky and destroy much of the fort. With nowhere else to go, the Resistance Army withdraws to Garreg Mach. Under the guise of surrender, they secretly prepare for a surprise attack on the Imperial capital.
Yeah, some of the things do feel like they make more sense on the Golden Deer route, because that's also kind of like an underhanded tactic that I'd think Claude would try. Yeah, I'll talk more about my thoughts on this route overall towards the end. I know there are a lot of people who don't like this one, but I've actually still been enjoying it so far, and I like the extra spotlight Seteth and the faculty get.
It seems the preparations for our invasion of Enbarr are advancing smoothly. All has been laid out so we can move swiftly to the necessary locations. Until the time comes, please try to keep your spirits up. There is something else. I have heard that Rhea is potentially being held captive in the capital. The information could not be confirmed, nor even properly sourced. But even still, we cannot ignore the possibility. Please bear that in mind.
What does that mean? You're almost telling us to watch out for her.
Yes. We must not let anything get in the way of rescuing her.
We're finally heading to Enbarr, the capital city of the Empire. Oh, so many memories there.
Flame, you're talking as if this is a holiday.
Oh yeah? So you've been there before?
Oh, yes. Though it was a very long time ago.
Yeah, like 900 years.
A very long time. You must have been really young. I'm surprised you remember.
The main stage of the Mittelfrank Opera Company is in the capital. I hope no one from the opera gets swept up in the coming chaos.
There are many buildings straight out of the history books in Enbarr. I hope they remain unharmed.
Yeah, hopefully no more javelins of light.
You're worried about the buildings? What about the people? You're an odd one, Lynn.
I am also worried about the people. I'm sure my father is in a palace in the capital.
Many people reside in Enbarr, so we must take care to avoid needless casualties.
I don't think Edelgard cares much for avoiding casualties, so that's probably impossible.
Well, sometimes she does, but yeah, I can kind of see your point there.
I bet we'll be fighting until one side or the other is completely destroyed.
Granted, that is sort of true. I was just saying that, like, she doesn't care about casualties when it suits her goals not to care, but, like, in this situation, like, I don't know whether letting civilians get killed in this attack is gonna help her, so I think she'd still try and minimize civilian deaths.
Bernie, you should be staying away from thoughts like that. We will be defeating her with our full power. Our enemy has great strength, but we will not be losing.
This is a little ironic, seeing as on the Blue Lions route, Petra actually takes part in what is the equivalent of this battle on the enemy side.
I could not agree more. Remember, even if our surprise attack works, a force even greater than all of our troops combined awaits us in the capital. 0 casualties is always the goal, but we must not underestimate the situation at hand.
Well, I mean, Byleth has Divine Pulse. He can force 0 casualties if he wants to.
Still, we must not hold ourselves to the same twisted morality that she does.
Again, I kind of agree there, but people are probably going to kill me for saying that.
After all, we are here to stop her, not to follow her down her dark path.
Yeah, that's basically literally what this route is.
We all choose to fight back. We are all in this together.
So Flane's kind of taking over as sort of a leader here. In fact, I don't think Byleth is in this cutscene at all.
You're right, Flane. We've got to try our hardest.
A different path from Edelgard.
There is no stopping her. The only way to end this is to kill her.
Really?
Our choice. Flane, your words are wonderful and full of bravery.
Let's go! We can't lose!
The situation is dire. And so I will do what must be done.
I am certain that if we join our strength, we can win this battle without losing a single soul.
I like that. I don't think Flame had a moment like that on the Blue Lions route. And nothing. So... Yep, here we are back at the Monastery. And we do have some support conversations. Lysithia and Ignatz, and I think that's actually the only one, because all of these other ones are probably stuff we've already seen. I'm also incredibly low on money right now, so I'll probably have to do both of these rare monster sightings. Lawrence's birthday. Conquer Enbarr. Yep, that's the exact same prompt we got on the Blue Lions route. But it's a different title, the Embarr Infiltration. Stealthily approach Enbarr, so maybe it's a different deployment location, but it's the same map. You know, if there aren't going to be that many supports here, I may as well show off what everyone has to say at this point.
10 years ago, Dagda and Bridget attacked the Empire from the west. Their final target was the capital, but they were countered at a port town long before they reached their destination. I guess our attempt has been more...
Okay, some of this dialogue is the exact same as the other routes.
Yes. 5 years ago, Edelgard said a thing to me. Bridget is a vassal of the Empire, but she also said I always have the freedom to be choosing whether I am with or not with her. I will become the ruler of Bridget. So she said I must make my own path. So now, my path and her path will be colliding.
Invading the capital and smashing the Empire. I wonder if doing so could really end this war. Care to share your thoughts, Professor? Perhaps you feel similarly to me. The whole mess puts me on edge. Although for now, better to focus my efforts on the fight at hand.
Professor, we're about to put the finishing touches on this war. I wonder how Fodlan will look without the backdrop of death and destruction. I can't wait to see it. On the other hand, I'm terrified of what the future might hold. Who knows if I'll survive the assault on the capital?
The Empire's army should be divided now, with significant troops still in the west. If they don't assert their authority over the Old Kingdom's lords, they'll never know when an uprising might start. Ironically, as soon as we capture the Imperial capital, the Old Kingdom's lords are likely to rise up immediately.
Ever since the Empire declared war on the Church, we have lost all contact with the priests and monks who are in the Imperial capital. I expect there's nothing we can do but pray for their safety. But realistically, it's probably too late.
So if we win the war, will you become the ruler of Fodlan? You seem unsure, so I guess anything is possible. For what it's worth, I think you'd make a good ruler. You could bring peace to the land.
Huh? Just recently, the fish in the pond suddenly started thrashing around like mad. I didn't know what was going on. Then I saw something gleaming in the southeastern sky. It happened right when you were out on campaign. I wonder what it could have been.
We're heading up to Embarr next. I hope I make it back safe so I can tell my little sis about it.
I hear they got a neat opera house there, where Manuela used to perform. What was it called again?
Mildew blank.
Ha! That's the one. My little sis always goes on about how much she'd like to see him perform. I know we can't see a show, but do you think we could at least see the building?
Professor, the whole of the capital is going to be a battleground. The city has such a long heritage. Even so, perhaps it deserves to be reduced to ashes for once. But we can't let the common folk get hurt. We should try to confine the damage to the noble section of town.
Oh yeah, because all nobles deserve to have their homes destroyed and to die horribly. Yeah, that's right.
That's so.
Some of my soldier friends departed for Empire territory a few days ago. They wore trader clothes and hid their weapons in their luggage, so that even if they encounter patrols, they won't arouse suspicion.
Yes, because no one ever checks your luggage.
Another squad dressed as traveling artists. It's like a game of dress-up, but with lives at stake.
Those things appeared as soon as we got ourselves set up in Fort Mercius.
I have been to the kingdom capital before, but never to the imperial one. They say it is the biggest city in all Fodlan. So we will no doubt have many civilians to worry about. I hope we can preserve the city. If it is destroyed in the battle, the people will face hardship. I would say we should avoid the use of excessive force, but I suppose that hinges upon the Empire's terms of engagement.
Have you considered... They used to call Enbarr the city of Seros. To assault it together with the Knights is surreal. If Seros were alive today, I wonder what she might make of our war.
Yeah.
In Enbarr, there was once a southern church, and apparently a bishop was dispatched to it. 100 years ago, the southern church became entangled in an insurrection. Until 5 years ago, the Empire and the church maintained a certain distance from one another.
There was a southern church? Never heard about that one before.
Professor! My mother might be in the city. I don't have many good memories of her, if I'm being honest, but she's dearer to me than my father. If you happen to see her, please make sure she's not caught up in all the fighting. She's only a civil servant, so hopefully she takes a cue from her burning and stays inside.
And hopefully we see your father and punch him in the face.
Somewhere in the city. I wonder if she can sense us coming. If we are able to save her, then I expect you will learn many secrets that have hitherto been kept from you.
Yes, on this route, definitely. She's probably not going to disappear and abdicate off screen like on the Blue Lions route.
Are you prepared for that? Excellent. The battle will soon be upon us. Let us both be at our best for what is to come.
Professor, we're finally going to the capital. This will be my chance to avenge Captain Gerald. Once we smash the Empire, I'm sure his soul will finally be able to rest in peace. Monica killed Captain Gerald for the Flame Emperor, and the Flame Emperor was Edelgard. I know that the future of all Fodlan rests on this battle. Nothing else is more important. But for me, this is personal. For Captain Gerald's sake, I'm going to give it all I've got and more.
I wonder about that. I still don't know if that was entirely on Edelgard's orders or not. Because if you have Edelgard fight Kronya, Edelgard has no hesitation whatsoever, so maybe it was something she didn't approve of.
The information about Lady Rhea being held in the Imperial capital came from an Imperial soldier at Mercius? We can't discount the possibility that the enemy's feeding us fake information on purpose. Still, we can only move forward. It's all on you, Professor.
Professor, at last. The end is nigh. I love the Empire. Part of me wants it to survive, but I know that is not reasonable. The Empire's time has come. What we need now is a mighty leader who can rebuild Fodlan and rule it as a single nation. Nonetheless, it saddens me that we will not have an Adrestian Emperor.
I am here for a fresh and fruity aroma. Oh, yes, this is my kind of tea. Thank you. Lovely aroma. Oh? Indeed. Indeed. Oh? Splendid! Even a noble needs a break now and then. One cannot be at one's best all the time. This was wonderful. Next time, I will provide the tea. Farewell.
So it's time for your prerequisite support episode of this chapter. So we've got a few here, and we actually have Ferdinand and Lorenz's A's with Byleth. I've actually been looking at my overall support library, and with these done, I actually have most of the male Byleth supports that are available, except I'm going to be missing Rhea's, which is a shame, because this is one of the few routes where you can actually do Rhea's supports, but oh well.
What an interesting way of looking at life. Ah, it is you. Just at the right time. There is something I wanted to discuss. Something about you. I am starting to believe that you are a true hero.
But he didn't even reclass a hero on this run.
You hold the Lost Crest, you wield the Sword of the Creator, and you lead everyone in battle against great enemies.
Yeah, that's very stereotypically protagonisty.
Not only that, but you are a strategist.
Very stereotypically Fire Emblem protagonisty.
You give everyone direction, so they know what needs to be done.
Without you, we'd all be green units and we'd all go and charge off in random directions and they'd all die.
You do not seem particularly ambitious, and yet you accomplish so much.
Well, that's one thing that separates him and Edelgard.
I am amazed that you can say so. I have been reading about the history of Fargus, you know. The kingdom's founder, Lug, the king of lions, had 2 advisors. One of them was Pan, the undesiring strategist. According to historical records, Pan wanted nothing for himself. He devoted himself entirely to Lug. He had tremendous power, but he never seemed concerned about his legacy. So in the old chronicles, there is hardly any mention of Pan's deeds.
Yeah, that sounds a lot like the avatar of New Mystery of the Emblem.
All that we know is that he helped Lug, his friend and leader.
This support seems like it'd make more sense if you recruited Ferdinand to Blue Lions than on this route.
It is not surprising that you have never heard of him. I did not even know his name until recently. But when I watch how you conduct yourself, I feel that I am seeing the unknown deeds of Pan.
Wait a minute, who is the other advisor?
It is only a thought, of course, but it makes me feel rather happy. Even if it is not in the pages of a history book, a life can be full of achievement. I know that I will never prevail over Edelgard, even if I defeat her on the battlefield.
Oh, don't say that now.
I am what I am, like you and this undesiring strategist. I will do what I am called to do, even if no mark of me remains in the history books.
That's some nice development for him in a way, considering how egotistical he acted earlier on. That was a good support, but yeah, I do feel like that. I wish I'd recruited Ferdinand to Blue Lions now, because that support would have made so much more sense then. And here is the second member of, I like to call him and Ferdinand the Brobles, because that's like what they are, but they can't even go up to an A with each other, which is weird.
I trust that you have not had any complaints about me lately.
Like, they potentially die in the same battle if you don't recruit either of them, so it's a bit weird they only go up to B.
Do you find it concerning that I've ceased making advances toward the ladies? I've decided that it would be inappropriate for me to continue my search for a spouse while we are at war.
But I think so too, that's why you can only air support with people after the war.
I expect that means you will not be receiving any more complaints. I hope that puts you more at ease.
It just means that he'll have to look forward to more complaints after the war.
Actually, the introspection I've gained setting aside my search has motivated me to amend my conduct. Not the phrasing I'd choose, but you're not wrong. Selfishly pursuing my own desires caused me to behave inconsiderately. For instance, it was arrogant and rude to invite ladies to dine with me purely to evaluate them.
No, you don't say! You're only just now realizing that?
Our experiences in battle have also given me cause to doubt certain preconceptions I once held. Previously, I had considered it a requirement for my future spouse to come from a noble line. I once thought that commoners lacked the power to influence the wider world, as history might suggest. To find a commoner who made a real impact, one has to look all the way back to Nemesis.
Well, I have actually spoiled myself on a few things about Nemesis because I know that they aren't revealed in this route, only on Golden Deer, but, yeah. I got a laugh when I found out what Nemesis actually was. I don't know if I can say that in this playthrough because I don't want to spoil people who haven't played Golden Deer, but I have jokes about that. Yeah. In a way, a long-held dream of mine's finally become a reality for a Fire Emblem game.
That was my belief at any rate. But I realized that I've actually had an influential commoner right in front of me all along.
Dorothea! Oh wait, Byleth.
Don't you see? I'm referring to you. You may wield the power of a crest, but you are so much more than just that. You have managed to charm everyone around you, to compel them to trust and follow you.
Yes, Byleth compels them to follow him with the power of his tea and ridiculous charm stat.
Though you may not realize it, that is no mean feat. It is altering the course of history in Fodlan.
Yeah, especially considering which house he chooses to teach determines, yeah, the fate of the world.
Your example puts my prior beliefs to shame. I appreciate the kind words.
Yeah, they weren't completely wrong, just the part about commoners being bad.
I have always sought to embody the ideal of nobility. That, at least, is a goal I continue to stand by. But now I know that bloodline alone is not sufficient to gauge a person's worth. I've learned much of this from you. You are humble and open-minded, despite your power and skill. That is why I, at least, find you so charismatic. Perhaps that is the wrong way to say it. What I mean is that you set an admirable example. I can only hope someday to be your equal. Of course, you had better keep an eye on me, because I can achieve anything I set out to do. For I am none other than the handsome and talented Lawrence Hellman Gloucester.
Oh, I skipped over the laugh. Yeah, that was pretty good, although I kind of feel like on this run, the reason why he's saying all that is because he's fallen in love with Dorothea. But anyway, any other... Ferdinand and Flame? That's new.
What is that lovely smell?
It's dead cooking fish, my favorite.
Seems to be coming from the training area. What could it be?
You have met your match, Rust. So stubborn.
Good day to you, Ferdinand. You smell amazing. That is you I am smelling, is it not?
That is the weirdest way to greet someone.
Flame, hello. Are you referring to the smell of this oil?
Aha! Yes, that is the smell, all right.
I am simply doing some armor maintenance. A little oil keeps the rust at bay, ensuring that the armor moves smoothly, without any hitches.
Did you use fish oil for it? Because that'd explain why she likes the smell so much.
I see. I thought maybe you were doing some cooking. You smell a bit like food. But I suppose that is the oil tricking my nose.
I would not cook in the training area. Are you hungry by chance?
Not really, no. But is that oil not also used for cooking? For things like frying meat or drizzling over a nice crisp salad? Things of that nature? Were I to coat my armor in oil that smells of food, I would be distracted by hunger at all times.
And that's exactly the point. It's a strategy to make our enemies get too hungry to fight us.
I doubt that amidst actual fighting, the smell would still make you hungry. We are always dancing with death on the battlefield. When your focus wavers, your life is forfeit.
I suppose you're right. And actually, all of this talk of delicious oil has made me hungry.
In that case, I will accompany you to the dining hall. I will be finished in a couple of minutes.
I must apologize, Ferdinand, but I cannot wait even a moment for you. I am famished. I shall be in the dining hall, getting my fill of fried goodies.
Well, that was quick. I will admit, now that she has mentioned it, it is a rather appetizing smell.
And thus Ferdinand ate his own armor. Okay, that's nothing new there. Nothing new with Linhardt. Oh, that's new.
Here's your book of fables you let me set it. It was so interesting to learn all about St. Indec that I read it cover to cover in one sitting.
Again, you've recently fought him.
Impressive. I'm glad you enjoyed it. What's this sticking out between the pages? Is this an illustration?
No, nothing like that. I must have stuck it in there and forgotten. Just, give it back, please.
Are you certain this was accidental? It quite fits the descriptions in this chapter. Ah, I see. You included an illustration where you thought the visual would be helpful.
No, not at all. I was just fooling around. I have an overactive imagination, and I forgot to take it out before I gave you the book back.
It really is a lovely drawing, you know. Now that I've seen it, the book would feel incomplete without it. But who is this man next to Saint Indek? I can't help but notice he bears a resemblance to me.
Oh no, please tell me she's not shipping them.
Oh, that's Saint Keyhole. The book describes him as one of Saint Indek's closest friends.
The book says that he was a wyvern rider with green hair who looked a lot like you. Oh wait.
I got the feeling he was a very serious man, but also really kind. You know, like you. So that probably explains the, resemblance.
I have to say, I never would have expected to be a reference model for Saint Keyhole.
I never would have expected to be a reference model for myself.
What a curious ambivalence.
What about furious violence?
No, what I meant to say is that I am both flattered and a little embarrassed to be portrayed in this way. Perhaps it is because, in my study of him, I feel like I've also become a friend to Saint Indek.
Yeah, apparently if you fight him with Flayn, Flayn actually calls him uncle, so he and Saint Indek must have been brothers.
Records show that Saint Indek and Saint Keyhole worked together to achieve great things.
By records, I mean my own memory, because I was there.
If possible, I would like it if the two of us could similarly combine our efforts.
What? How do we figure into this?
We each bear their respective crests, do we not? One might also say that just as I am this book's author, you are now its illustrator. So why don't you do some more illustrations? And color them as well. We'll add them to the book.
So now he has two people to help him with illustrations for Fables, Hilda and Bernadetta.
You really want me to? I don't know if I'm good enough for something like that.
Yeah, Raphael has quite a few. These I'll need to save before.
Ignatz, I am having a request.
Huh? For me?
Yes, only you can be helping me.
Something only I can do? That's a lot of pressure. What's it about?
I want to borrow your lens, your glasses. I have curiosity.
Alright, now I remember this, see? It's been so long since I did that one.
Oh, you want to try my glasses? Alright.
I have so much gratitude. I will be trying them now.
Please let them have drawn another portrait of her with glasses. Come
So,
on.
Petra, what do you think?
They did make glassesless Ignatz.
The world appears
Yes!
blurred. Oh, my head feels dizzy.
It was probably just a simple edit, but I love they actually went the extra mile and did that.
The danger for being sick is now very high.
What? Petra, take them off. If you lean on me that hard, I'm going to... Ah! How are you feeling?
I am feeling much better now. You have my thanks.
You're welcome? I guess you shouldn't wear glasses unless you need them.
Yeah, I remember as a kid, like, I was always told not to put on people's glasses because they make you feel sick.
Yes. I do not have friendliness with glasses. Like Heroes' Relics. Only certain people can be using them.
Yes, if you don't have the required eyesight, like, the required eyesight level, you lose 10 HP per turn if you wear glasses.
Glasses are like Heroes' Relics. What a funny thing to say.
It is not for a joke. I was saying the truth. Your glasses are only for you to use. But I give thanks for you showing them to me.
Petra's always so serious. Relics, glasses. I never thought about it like that.
Well, these glasses don't give you access to combat arts with incredibly ominous names. Oh, you just have Raphael.
Meat is the best! Veggies and fish are great too, but there's nothing like a good cut of meat.
Please don't let Flayn have heard you say that.
May I join you?
Hey, Lawrence! You here to eat? It looks like you barely grabbed anything.
Please, this amount will suffice for me. There's no need to compare our portions.
No wonder you're so skinny. My little sis eats more than you. Come on, have some of mine. You need it more than I do.
You offer me half-eaten scraps? The nerve! With manners like that, even a nobleman would be an absolute disgrace. Have you no dignity?
You're pretty touchy, huh? It's probably just because you're hungry.
Raphael, please, do you mind? I cannot enjoy the simple pleasure of a meal in these conditions.
Why can't you enjoy your meal? You don't like what's on the menu? You wait here. I'll go to the kitchen and find something tastier for you.
That won't be necessary. Please, just let me eat. In peace. Alone.
I don't think you get it, Lawrence. Nothing goes with a meal better than good company. If leading the Alliance is your goal, you should really try eating with other people first.
I'm afraid I fail to see the connection between leadership and dining.
Well, Byler certainly does. It helps get support up with people.
If you want to be a leader, you have to know how to get along with different types of people, right? If you really want to get to know someone, all you have to do is share a meal with them.
Quite the contrary, unfortunately. It seems the more time I spend eating with you, the less likely we are to become friends.
The more you eat with someone, the more you learn about them. Their likes, their dislikes. You know, you might get some of their food that way too. You can eat more and bulk up. All that talking made me hungry again. I'm gonna go get seconds.
What an absolute bother. But I suppose he does have a point about observations of character at the dinner table.
Yeah, it seems like they're exact opposites, but their later supports might be interesting.
Hey, Ignatz? Hey, Ignatz is here! What's gotten into him?
This again.
Hey! Ah! Hey, you've been acting weird lately. Are you sick or something?
Raphael! No, I'm fine.
So what's going on with you? Are you worried about something? Want to talk about it?
I don't know about worried. It's just, you know, your parents.
Hey now!
Ah! What is it?
I thought I told you to drop it. Just forget about it.
I can't just forget about it. You lost your parents. And when you were in need, my family did nothing to help you.
Well, what were they supposed to do about it? It's not like they killed my parents. And besides, that's our folks you're talking about. That's got nothing to do with us, right?
I still can't help but feel responsible. Like I owe you somehow.
Look, if you want to do something, just be my pal like you used to. We can eat tasty meals together, play games, make jokes, and laugh until our bellies hurt.
Are you sure that's what you want?
Of course it is! We were friends before, and there's no reason we can't be friends now.
Raphael, thank you. And I'm sorry about before.
Okay, so they've finally gotten over their awkwardness. And I've also got Leonie B for him.
Oh, it's Raphael. What's he doing at that desk? Hey, are you studying? I thought you'd given up on it. Nice to see her.
Failing.
What the?
Oh, Leonie!
What's wrong? Why are you crying?
I just got a thank you letter from my little sister.
Okay, maybe start from the beginning.
My little sister lives with my grandpa now. She's had to deal with so much since I decided not to take over the family business.
You might have to back up a bit more before this starts to make sense to me.
Our parents were merchants, but they died in an accident. We had some money saved at first, but Grandpa isn't healthy enough to work, and I'm not smart enough to work a job that requires much thinking.
That's really tough. Hard to make a fortune with just your strength, I'm sure.
I had to sell all our valuables just to pay my way here so I could become a knight.
Wow, that's a lot of pressure.
My sister wants the best for me, but she's the smart one in the family. She's the one that should be here. When I ask if she needs anything, she always says she's fine. She doesn't want to ask me for anything, because she knows I'm having such a hard time here.
She sounds like a great kid. So, what did the letter say?
It says she's happy and thankful for all the study materials I sent her.
That's good, right? Wait, where did you find extras?
I couldn't find any, so I just sent her mine. It's like you said, right? It's better to give them to someone who will use them instead of letting them go to waste.
Don't take this the wrong way, but don't you think you've still got things to learn? Well, I guess if it makes her happy, it's worth it. Maybe I can scrounge something up for her too.
Okay, so he's kind of resigned himself to the fact that he's not going to do well academically, so he's sending all of his homework to his sister to have her do it instead, I guess. Ignatz and Lycidia, Marianne A, and Flame B. Okay, I was originally planning on doing an A with Ignatz and Flame, but I'm kind of liking him and Marianne right now.
Nothing here.
What are you doing?
Oh, Flame. I've just been researching the exploits of Saint Sethlene.
Otherwise known as Saint You.
And why is it you're doing that precisely?
Well, painting is a hobby of mine, and I thought I might like to capture her likeness.
Well, how lovely. But how is researching her exploits necessary for painting?
If I wanted to use a statue of Saint Sethlene for my reference, it wouldn't be necessary. But that's not what I want. I wish to paint Saint Sethlene herself, looking exactly as she did when she was alive.
Yes! I wonder if there is a perfect reference model of that standing right in front of you.
And if I don't know anything about who she was on the inside, the image won't be true to life. So I wanted to find some hints about who she was, and that's why I've been researching her deeds.
You don't need to do that. You have the real thing standing right in front of you.
Ah, so you were hoping to find out what type of girl she was.
Girl? Interesting way of putting it, but yes, more or less.
I see. Yes, it is all quite clear to me now.
What's happening?
Okay then. Allow me to share with you what I know of Sethlene's deeds. Long ago, in a world ravaged by war, Sethlene led a secluded life with her father, Keyhole.
And by long ago, I mean 5 years ago.
One day, they met Saint Seros, who was grieved by the chaos and destruction of war. And so, the three decided to join forces.
Guessing none of them were saints back then.
Huh? But I thought the saints gathered following a revelation from the goddess.
At the Battle of Teal'tine, they fought against the 10 elites led by Nemesis, who sought to conquer the whole world.
So, yeah, I also may have spoiled this for myself, seeing as it's only revealed directly on the Golden Deer route, but yeah, the 10 elites were hailed as heroes, they were Nemesis's minions. And it was not hard to tell that, considering how obviously evil the names of all of the relic combat art sound.
Sethlene tended to her allies on the field of battle, until she exhausted all her strength. Then, she fell into a long slumber.
Wait, she didn't fight by turning into a dragon?
But according to legend, she used her miraculous powers to heal all of the wounded.
Interesting story, is it not? Have you perhaps learned something new about Sethlene?
Having heard all that, I'd say she seems incredible.
Incredible? Well, I haven't heard that before.
Actually, you know, I just realized something. Maybe it's more that, like, everyone thinks the 10 elites used to be heroes and then fell, like, to corruption like Nemesis did.
I feel certain you and I will be fast friends. Let us talk again soon.
What I mean is maybe them being on the side of Nemesis actually is public knowledge.
Huh. Who knew Flame was such an expert on Sethlene?
I wonder why. It's not like she is Sethlene or anything. And I guess we have Lycidia as well.
Oh, hey, it's you. Going for a walk again today?
Oh, right, it's the baby conversation.
No, I'm on cooking duty today, and I have to head into town for some groceries.
All on your own? I'd better go with you. I'd be worried if you went by yourself.
After all, you're a baby.
No, please, I can manage on my own.
But won't you have a hard time carrying everything back?
Because you're a baby.
Not at all. I'll be fine. I'm just replacing a few ingredients. Also, I may not look it, but I'm actually quite strong.
Not really.
I've been exercising every day.
You're right. You don't look it. Your biceps are a fraction of the size of Raphael's. If you start fumbling around under the weight of all the groceries, and then you trip and spill everything everywhere, look, I'm just saying that could be your future. It could happen. It doesn't look pretty.
That's what you think of me, huh?
Yep. You're honestly a bit of a mess.
I see. If that's how you feel.
Oh, knock it off with the wounded puppy dog eyes. As though I'm some sort of villain in your story.
Actually, Lycidia would probably make a pretty decent Dark Mage villain in a Fire Emblem game.
I'm sorry. That wasn't my intention. I'm just a bit sensitive, that's all. You're talking like you don't respect me.
I see. So now it's my fault? No matter how grown you seem to think you are, there's so much you're incapable of.
Because you're a baby.
You can play at being a mature adult, but it only ever complicates things, and that's exactly what makes you look like a child.
Oh, enough already! Would you just leave me alone?
Maybe I went a bit far that time, but he's so stubborn despite his ineptitude. I can't just leave it be. He's so foolish, constantly making a mess of things. Wait, but then...
No matter how much we stretch, some things are always beyond us. I think it's fine to be vulnerable and ask for help sometimes.
What he said to me before. To everyone else, do I seem just like Ignots?
The realization finally hits. So I kind of feel like that's one of those supports that if I was the only one of Lycidia's I ever saw, I'd probably end up disliking her. But good thing I've seen other supports of hers by now. Haven't even got her to support Lorenz at all. I've heard her support with Cyril is great, but I might save that when I play Golden Deer someday. So yeah, now it's just A's left, so I'm going to go ahead and make a separate save. Well, I'm going to go ahead and save before doing these. And first, this one, and I've heard this one actually is romantic.
Oh, Petra, are you researching something?
Yes, I am investigating useful fighting techniques.
You're always trying to become a better fighter. Personally, I'm sick of all the battles.
You are feeling sick about battle? Oh, I understand. Yes, I am also wishing for this war to finish quickly.
Sooner the better. I don't even remember the last time I washed my hair.
Yes, it is hard to be braiding your hair when it is damaged from lack of care.
Speaking of, you know, I don't think I've seen many braids like yours, Petra. I assume it's a hairstyle from Bridget? May I take a closer look?
You may. This style of braiding has been passed down through my family.
How very elaborate. That must take a long time to do.
Yes, how very elaborate. Wait a minute, there aren't any braids at all on that part of your hair model.
Your words are delighting me. Braiding it does take up a great amount of time every day.
Every day? Now I suppose you couldn't sleep with your hair like that, could you?
Well, yeah, now it's making me think of Tangled and how many hours it must take for her to do her hair every day.
When there's time, do you think you could teach me? It would be fun to match you every now and then. And once I learn how, I can help you with your hair. What do you think?
I am really liking that idea. It would give me great happiness to have our hair match.
I'd like it too.
Dorothea, before I had confusion. I thought you were being overly familiar, but then I gained understanding. Now I am knowing that is how you show your kindness, and I have much gratitude for that. It is impossible to be imagining life without you. You are precious to me.
Petra, what a lovely thing to say. I might just cry.
If you will be crying, you can have my... my shoulder. For your crying.
Oh, I was just playing around. But if I ever do need a good cry, I do hope you'll lend me your shoulder.
My shoulder will always be available for you.
Oh, yeah? So I don't even need to make a reservation or anything?
A reservation? For my shoulder?
Out of context line. You know what? I'm going to screenshot this line. Just so I have that.
Oh, I just meant... You know what? It doesn't matter. What matters is that I enjoy spending time with you. It makes me stop worrying about marriage and status.
If that is the truth, then will you be coming to Bridget with me?
Oh wait, I already asked Ferdinand that.
Huh?
When this war is finished, I am wishing for you to be seeing my homeland.
You are? Oh my. I'd love to, Petra. As soon as the fighting is done, I'd like nothing more than to see Bridget with you.
Yeah, okay, while I like that, I sort of want to get Dorothea to an A with Lorenz in this playthrough, so I'm going to be reloading for that. But I guess while I'm here, I may as well show this, just in case I end up not liking it and also having to reload.
Huh. What's that about? Marianne, I saw you on the training grounds earlier. It looked like there was an argument.
Oh, no. It was nothing.
Are you sure? Nothing happened at this morning's training?
Well...
Okay, tell me what happened.
I just couldn't keep up with the rest of the group. Everyone got so mad at me. They said something about looking into their eyes so I could read their movements, but I couldn't do it.
They may have a point.
I'm a hindrance to everyone. I can't do it.
Of course not. That goes without saying. It's hard to accomplish anything on your own. Look at me. By myself, I'm worse than useless. Can you see where I'm going with this?
That you're terrible, like a terrible combat unit, and I should stop using you?
To succeed, you have to cooperate. You can't do that if you're not paying attention to nonverbal cues.
Huh?
Please, try looking up. Looking people in the eye. You'll see some things that you've never seen before. People worry about you, and rely on you. You'll see that on your allies' faces. In a way, you'll see what they're thinking.
You may be right. It was my fault for looking down. Thank you, Ignatz. I appreciate your encouragement.
Of course. Look, we both saw the sunset and appreciated its beauty. Nature communicates without words. We can do the same. We don't need to speak to be understood. Stop staring at your feet. Look at us. That'll be a good start.
I can certainly try.
Huh.
Is something wrong? Did I say something to upset you?
Oh no, to the contrary. I just realized that I was missing something. A thing of remarkable beauty. Right under my nose.
Now I'm just imagining like a pickup line score out of 10 appearing in like G5 maybe?
Remarkable beauty?
What? Don't mind me.
You know what I think I'll do? I think I'll actually wait until I get his A with Flame, and then decide which of those that I want to do. Okay, so that should be all for the support episode for now. So next time we will be entering Enbarr, and I'm wondering whether we go like straight from the next chapter right into the one after, because it wouldn't make much sense to head back to the monastery right after invading Enbarr. So I feel like the next two chapters will be back to back.